Welcome back to Wrist Check Podcast. Live.
Yes.
This one's not officially numbered. Just a little tapping. We did this last year where we all jumped on live from our respective places at home.
From the crib.
And so we stepped it up technologically. Happy New Year's, guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's 2023, and this is the first episode of the season. We got our producer here on the couch with us. Maybe you can see him.
I don't know. Maybe you can see a shoulder, a hand, on his head. He in here somewhere.
Yeah. But this episode is our end of the year recap, essentially, where we have several different categories and we try to figure out, or we argue and debate.
Yeah, there's definitely be some arguments.
Which watches
turquoise OP for a category.
Which watches will win each category. But before we get started there, let's start with the honorary wrist check. Mr. Man Who Never Repeats a Watch, what do you got on today?
So obviously we're streaming live. This is a watch that you guys will see first here on the show, but I will repeat it in the coming episode. So this is the Ulysse Nardin Marine Diver in collaboration with Nerona.
Yeah.
As I said before, this has become my new favorite piece. It's one of, now I'm starting to collect modern watches. So I was kind of on a vintage tip.
Yeah.
I was on a vintage tip. Now I'm collecting modern watches. So, you know, what other brand to start my modern watch collection, but, you know, UN. Our connection with UN, you know, the guys over there, amazing.
Started your modern watch collection.
Well, yes. Well, I started with
an FXD.
But I'm just saying in general, you know.
Okay.
This is the second edition.
That's the one that made you realize you want more of them.
That, yes.
Okay.
And that one was limited, right? It was, 20 units?
Limited to 29 pieces. Sorry.
29 pieces.
What number is that?
29 pieces. This is actually my lucky number 12.
Tight.
So,
I mean, this is UN's most sustainable watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's made from like all recycled plastic and I think like stuff from the ocean, right? 'Cause they do a lot of like
fishing nets.
Well, sustainability work, environmental sustainability work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, every time I look at it, you know, I just get excited more and more. The carbonium, you know, it's
got a power reserve indicator.
Yeah, the power reserve indicator. The date, the action on it is really good.
Sounds very chippy.
Yeah. Very like click, 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 click. I like it.
You think this will replace the FXD in your collection? Because you haven't worn that in a hot minute.
I haven't worn the FXD in a while.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna put this down maybe in like another week or two and pick back up the FXD.
Okay. Ben, what do you got on the wrist?
The same watch I fell asleep wearing last night.
Okay.
The OP.
Nice.
Wore it out last night.
You did, yeah.
Expecting to beat the shit out of it. I think I did. Woke up, it was still on.
Rung in the new year with it.
This got to be the one. Just we're on the episode, might as well.
Incredible.
Close out the year and start
the year with a Rollie.
Right.
Yes.
I like the vibes.
Yes.
Can you see Osh on camera? No. You want to just stick put your watch in.
Shout out to Oris, got the DAT-Watt on.
The DAT-Watt Limited. Our producer's on the couch with us. You just can't see him, but he's wearing a watch too. I decided to break out an oldie but goodie. This is actually the watch I got last Christmas. Zodiac Super Seawolf.
Shout out to Perry's wife.
Shout out to my wife. She was with us last night as we celebrated the new year. Shout out to Colby for always being hospitable. Big shout out to Temple Bar for hosting us last night. But no, I haven't worn it in a while. I saw it in the watch box and I was like, man, yeah, this should be the watch that I wear in the first day.
You wore it on the bracelet too.
You
had on the NATO, the leather NATO.
I took the NATO off. I love this thing, man. This is just like, it gives me super vintage vibes. Super tough, all steel. Love it. It's good. So getting right into the heat of the action.
Yes.
We've got several categories. I know everyone here has an opinion. So we'll just start it. Let's get into it. So this is our Watches of the Year episode.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start with the first category, which I thought would make for an interesting conversation considering all that we've seen on the show, discussed all all the releases. 2022 was jam packed full of stuff from just the onset. And we saw a lot of action going up till the end of the year. But the first category, best watches under 5K. You want to start?
Yeah, I can kick it off.
Okay, kick it off. I'm curious. What do you think? Best watch under 5K for 2022.
There's a lot of options.
There was a lot of good stuff.
A lot of good pieces. But I think Ben will actually approve of this one. I actually chose Grand Seiko.
Okay.
I chose the reference SBGW 287, which is that, like,
you're gonna have to break that down for us non-Grand Seiko people.
So for the non-Grand Seiko folks, this was kind of one of those like sweet spot pieces. Case size was about 38 millimeter, manual wound, of course. So it was, if this was your first time piece, it was, you had the opportunity to be very intimate with it. It's hand wound. It comes in different, color combinations.
It's
so
the blue, the red, the green.
the blue, red, green.
The red's a recent release and it bangs.
Yes.
I saw it for the first time a couple of weeks ago. Now this is hot.
I think there's also like a brown
Yeah, kind of. It's like taupe.
like a brown taupe-ish. So I think, that piece is one that, people should look into if you're looking into like getting more something with like a higher price point. And it's right at that sweet spot of, I believe, $43 or $4,800. So if you want to stay at 5K, I would definitely say the Grand Seiko hand wound.
Okay. Ben, what do you got? Best watch under 5K.
There's a couple different ones, but
Got choose one.
I'm choosing a brand.
Okay.
I'm gonna say pick any Oris that came out this year and go for it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Literally any of them. New York Harbor,
That was a good one.
Colson.
Yeah.
They had a lot of hits.
What else? The train joint that I can never pronounce.
The train?
Yeah, they did one. There's like with the train. It's like a black dial.
Oh, yes.
Dana wrote an article about it.
Yeah,
I just
no, that
can't
was a good
pronounce
one.
it.
That was cool.
But
Yeah.
all very sexy. All
They even
very
did
good
a,
watches.
Wings of Hope.
The Wings of Hope.
That was under 5?
It's $3K.
The steel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
gold one's what, 12?
12.
Yeah. But there's 4 different options right there.
Okay.
The Harbor's probably the best one.
Harbor
though.
Banks. That was a good one.
And
That
it's
was
a
really
good value.
release.
Bracelet and a rubber strap.
Yeah, that's true. That's great value.
Yes.
And a Mother Pro dial.
For me, I chose the Tudor Black Bay Pro.
That's interesting.
Best watch under 5K.
Mm-hmm.
I think to me, I think that
I'm only surprised you picked that because you had the chance to buy one and pass.
I know I did pass it.
Mhm.
But I still think about that watch daily. But it's a all steel GMT by Tudor in the 39 millimeter case,
Mhm.
right? Which is what we wanted.
It's
I
thick
remember.
though.
Huh? That's the only thing. It is a little wide, but with the bracelet, I feel like it wears well. It's also, staying true to Tudor and the spirit of that brand. It's an homage piece, pays tribute to the Rolex Explorer 2, which some people call
McQueen.
the McQueen.
McQueen reference.
But in their own way that I think is really fun. And, to have a GMT complication, all steel watch, date wheel
Yeah.
Actually,
from this prestigious brand, all under 5K, I thought it was an incredible steal.
I like it on that black rubber strap.
The rubber strap is actually not bad. So that was a combination. I typically don't enjoy when they put like their black bays on the rubber straps, but the one that one
Well, it's
was
a whole
released
new
was actually,
looking strap. Too.
Yeah,
It's
it looks
nice.
cool because it kind of looks like canvas, but
Yeah.
it's all rubber.
Mhm.
No, that was
It's
nice.
good.
So the Tudor Black Bay for me. Black Bay Pro. Next one. Best complicated watch of the year. I'm gonna start with you.
mb&f.
Okay, which one?
The Evo.
Oh yeah, that was good.
130 some odd thousand
Sure.
dollars worth every penny though. Chronograph, 4 time zones at once. You can track 4 different laps or something like that.
Yeah.
They can all go at one time. You can start them individually. You can
Mhm.
track different things. It's crazy, and it's basically all skeletonized.
Yeah, no, that was a good one.
So that bangs.
That was a good one. I chose to go with the Omega Speedmaster mint repeater
Yeah,
with the aventurine dial.
I
That
had
was,
a feeling you were gonna go for something like
it was
that.
crazy.
I thought thought you were gonna pick either that
Yeah.
or the wristwatch, pocket watch.
Yeah, I had a
Version.
feeling you was gonna choose
The
that.
wrist.
I thought you were
Oh
gonna
no,
choose the
that
pocket
was
watch.
good too.
It came out the same.
I mean, it's the
thing.
same movement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna pick the other one though.
The aventurine dial is crazy
Yeah,
with the bracelet. It's
Yeah.
fire.
yeah.
But like they had so many surprises for us this year. I think like the last thing on my mind was that they were going to do a minute repeater.
Right.
I did not see that coming. A minute repeater Speedmaster, crazy.
Yeah.
To me, that was like I thought they blew it out of the water. It was a nice capstone to the year that Omega had.
It's like, oh, by the way,
Exactly before the year's out.
here you go.
Just slide that through. What about you? Best complicated watch of the year?
You know, it's funny when I chose this one, I almost felt like I could have put it in the category of the first watch that we talked about. So this watch is extremely complicated, but it's under 5K.
Okay.
So I
The
chose
Longines?
no.
Okay.
I chose the Christopher Ward C1 Bell Kanto.
Is that the hour
That's
repeater?
that's the hour repeater.
So I actually just saw this in person
I'm trying to
recently.
buy one.
I've seen it in person. It's
Yeah.
pretty good.
No,
What
it's-
color was it?
I seen
it's
a
like-
blue one.
Yeah, that's
they
the one I
dropped.
saw.
They dropped. I think 4 more a couple weeks ago on bracelets.
I saw the blue one on bracelet. The blue one was good.
The
We were at a
pink-
Complecto event.
The pink one on the bracelet bangs.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
they
there's
did
a
pink.
there's a pink, purple, green, red, blue, black now.
And it is under 4K.
Yeah.
It's under
Hour
4K.
repeater.
Yeah,
it's
it's
crazy.
30.
Hour repeater
3800 something like
3800. I mean, we kind of channeled the same idea, thinking
Yeah.
of like a repeating watch.
Mm.
You know, like where are you gonna find something that is that complicated
For that price point,
at that price
I don't
point?
think you can.
No
But
way.
that's an interesting, like, just, because that runs the gamut right there, right? You're talking about like this Christopher Ward watch that was released this year, hour repeating piece, $3,800. Omega Speedmaster releases, Omega releases a $450,000 minute repeater. It's just like, this is what watchmaking has come to, which is kind of exciting.
Yes.
So I had a conversation with Jose about it. Shout out to Jose. Pro
Shout out to
Swing,
Jose.
one of the watchmakers, and I sent it to him, and he hadn't seen it yet. I sent it to him, and he was like,
The Christopher Ward piece?
"Yeah, he
Okay.
hadn't seen it at the time." So I sent it
Right.
to him, and I was like, "Yo, this is hot. Like, we should get one."
Yeah.
And he was like, "It's like we were talking about the price," and he was like, "It's honestly relatively a simple thing to make.
Really?
It's just hard to make it look simple."
Mm.
And that's what Christopher Ward accomplished.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because there's no clutter on the dial. There's
Yeah,
nothing.
no.
It's
It's,
Yeah.
it's super clean.
Yeah.
It's nice.
You would think that looking at it, you would put it in the space of like, a Moza.
yeah, for
I'm
sure.
glad you said that too, because I was just thinking that because his logo's not on it.
Nope.
Yeah, there's no branding.
Yep.
And so you just kind of just get to enjoy the timepiece for what it is.
Yes.
And that makes it even more special, I feel like.
And then the thing is that it's very contemporary and like kind of freaky.
It looks like a Kodo light.
It does. Yeah, no. That's a
Yeah.
good analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you even still like kind of channels like mb&f. Like it's
Yeah.
just something
Yeah.
very contemporary.
It's one of those pieces when you see it, you're like, what the hell is
Like
that?
there's
Yes.
no way that you would think it costs like $50,000.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty amazing. I thought that's
That's a
a
good
that's a
pick.
good selection.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Next one. This is my probably my favorite one,
Which one?
just because this is the one. The same question brought up a lot of debate last year,
Yeah.
but most hyped watch of the year.
oh,
I think this
it
will be
came in.
unanimous.
It came
for us.
in late in the game for me, so I don't know if it's gonna be
Most hyped
unanimous.
watch of the year. So let's start with
5811.
5811.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good pick. I didn't pick that, but yeah, that's a great pick.
I figured no one would because it just happened.
It did, yeah. But you know what? People did go crazy with that, but I didn't feel like that one was
I
the
don't
most
think-
hyped out of the collection. I felt like it was the 5712R. That was probably a little more
Nah.
hyped.
I don't think so. I think people who have taste
Sure.
like
Yeah.
the 5712R more.
Yeah.
But everyone was like, "Yo, 5811, I need that."
So
That's
crazy.
all people were talking
Yeah.
about.
I mean, I was, it's a nice watch.
I'm good.
Yeah, it's great.
5711 is probably is my least favorite Nautilus reference. I don't need one in gold.
Yeah.
I think just in
It had
terms
some
of,
well needed upgrades, right? The
Yeah.
deployant, fine, the class, fine.
I mean, I do think that,
It's about time.
for those guys who, did miss out on the 5711, weren't able to get a time only piece. And maybe you want something a little more special. It's white gold. It's got some heft.
Mhm.
Pretty awesome.
double the
I mean,
price.
but you can't get a 5811 either.
Facts. Facts.
Yes.
Most hyped watch of the year. What do you say?
You can't pick a Rolex.
I am picking a Rolex.
Oh my God. There were no hype
we might be on the
Rolexes.
same page.
I'm going
Most hyped.
I'm going with the Deep Sea Challenge.
Oh, really?
Deep Sea Challenge was the most hyped watch.
What?
Really?
People
Explain.
shat on that.
I think, well, this is where I'm gonna go with this, because we all like freaked out when we thought about a titanium
Yeah.
Yachtmaster 1.
Sure.
It
So-
looked hot.
But that's what I'm saying. We thought like, oh, if Rolex was to do a titanium watch, it will be a banger.
Yeah.
In your words, you would be like,
Yeah.
this will be a banger.
But
That
this is not a
bangs.
banger.
But that's what I'm saying. Everyone was hyped about it, and they were like, oh, you know, if Rolex does a titanium watch, we get a titanium watch. It's 26 grand, and it's as thick as a hockey puck.
It's thicker than that. It's like putting 3 of them on top of each other.
So, I mean, I would kind of put it in the same vein as like hype watch and hype brand. I think Rolex was very, very hyped this year.
Man.
You know, was
I
very,
think the
very
most hype
underwhelming.
brand this year was Patek. Patek and AP.
But I mean, but when we use hype, I mean, are we talking more hype like it didn't meet the expectations, or like
for me,
highly
like,
anticipated?
It's just hyped up, like
Just,
what something
yeah.
people couldn't shut up about. That
Yeah.
Deep Sea Challenge was not
Okay,
it.
I mean, yeah, people didn't shut up about it, but I think people were very excited about the idea of a titanium
Yeah,
Sure.
Rolex.
Yeah. No, I mean, I thought it was. I mean, we got to see it and hold one in person, and it's the kind of thing where it's kind of funny to see it, just
Yeah.
because, especially when you get to hold it next to like another deep sea dweller.
it's crazy.
It looks
It
crazy,
dwarfs
but
it.
in terms of, you know, I definitely think that it was Rolex kind of, you know, nudging Omega a little bit in their ultra deep, and it's like, hey, look, we just went ahead and actually made a watch that can go to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
Even though no one's going to do it, but we can do it. But you know, I think what me and you do have in common is I actually also chose, you know, Rolex. I thought one of the most hyped pieces this year, I thought was Lefty GMT.
Yeah.
I thought from the minute that dropped, like till the end of the year, people could
Right.
not stop talking
Shout out
about
to
it.
Ricardo. He just said Destro Rolex GMT was hyped.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I figured
Simpatico.
that was But you know something? Even in handling, I still look at it, I'm like, man, this watch looks like it's upside down.
Well, yeah.
It-
Listen,
until you put it on.
just because it's hype doesn't mean it's not a cool watch. It's a cool watch. It was just like it is. It literally it's exactly what it is. It's a left-handed GMT.
Well, it's an upside down.
You know
GMT.
what? Since it's a dual time, you probably could wear it with the crown up.
Well,
Like,
no,
like
because
crown-
your
with the
dial,
crown-
your dial will still be upside down.
Your
The dial would be
yeah,
upside down,
yeah.
but then you would just like adjust the time to like.
You can still tell. Yeah,
That's too much.
it's already too much. The watch is already upside down because
I
the
would-
date's on the
I
wrong
would just
side.
I would just flip it to the other
then
way.
it got-
You a lefty though.
Yeah.
Just wear it on your right hand.
I know.
The lefty thing got so crazy too, just because, you know, with the color change, I think that was also like a really big thing. Like, oh, them introducing green the way they did. Then everyone's like running to make up a nickname. So it's like, okay, so
It's not a Sprite GMT.
It's not. It's like we settled on Sprite,
Yeah.
but it doesn't remind me of Sprite at all.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard. I think it was Beth.
Beth
We had
that
Beth on the
said
show. She
Green
said the Green Lantern. I actually like that.
Nah, I think Aurora.
thought that was pretty good.
Aurora hit it. The
What
Robin.
did he say? Oh, he called it the Robin.
Yeah,
I guess you
Robin's
could say the
costume is
Robin to the
black and
Batman.
Yeah,
red.
Batman and Robin. Ooh.
Yeah, it's a double entendre.
Sure.
I like that.
That works.
So we'll just make it all superheroes then. The Pepsi
Sure.
is Superman.
no,
Okay, I tried.
it's just called the lefty.
Yeah.
That's it. It's a lefty GMT.
Next category, best value watch of the year. I'll just go right off the jump, and you know, you mentioned Oris's whole catalog for
Yep.
under 5K. My choice for this category was an Oris, the Oris Holstein 2022. Speaking of dual time,
Yes.
this is a dual time piece that they did, nicknamed Full Steel. Comes on a steel bracelet.
That thing's hot.
Really cool steel case, and it's like it's a smaller watch than what
Mhm.
they would typically do these days. I think it's like 38 millimeter
Yeah.
width. If you've got two time dials, right? You got your main dial time, which you can use for you would use mainly for travel time, I guess, because you have the
There's a pusher.
there's two pushers on either side that jumps it an hour,
Mhm.
peels it back an hour, and that works there. And then you have a sub dial that you can use for like local time if
Yeah.
you want, or you could go vice versa, whatever. But I thought it was a really cool watch. The CEO actually, so he owned the original piece that this was inspired after, because it was kind of like a reproduction of a 90s piece that they did. Rolf owned it. And I fell in love with that piece.
Yeah.
I thought it was really, really cool. It retailed, I think, for just like $4,300. Like, again,
Vince from Watching Easter has one that he actually found the strap to fit it. Is nice.
that watch is
He put
fire.
it on like this patent leather, like small scale.
I mean,
crocodile.
just yeah, and you know, like I love GMT complications. I think they're great. You know, Rolex GMTs happen to be in a space right now where they're treated more like a luxury piece as opposed to, you know, something that's purely like utilitarian. And what I loved about the Holstein is that it felt that way. It's like this could be your beater travel watch, and like not in a derogatory way, but like if you're traveling, if you're on vacation, if you're traveling for work, like you don't need to take this thing off.
Yeah.
It's going to get the job done.
Yep.
And it's super convenient, lightweight. It's just awesome. Even the design, the dial was tight. Like I love it.
It channels that like 90s design. For
Yeah,
sure.
no, it's really good. What about you? What says you?
I picked the titanium Spirit Longines.
Okay, yeah,
3K titanium watch, time only, in-house movement.
facts.
It's nice.
That was a good release.
They dropped. I mean, for a while they were hot. You couldn't
Yeah,
get them.
Longines had a really good year.
Yeah, long as
They dropped
had
a
a
couple
really good
good
year.
things, but that titanium Spirit I think is the best value in
Sure.
the watch. We could have cheated and picked Oris again, but
Sure.
I wanted to switch it up a bit because the PPX also
PPX is
titanium,
fire.
great value, 4K.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for
The
sure.
Salmon's my favorite of the bunch,
Salmon's dope.
but the Longines is nice because you get all the different strap options.
Yeah, they did. Oris really had a big year with smaller watches.
Yeah.
When I think about it too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Really good.
What about you? Best value.
I chose the Cartier Santos.
Okay.
I chose the Cartier Santos, and you know, it could be any case size. It could be Dumont or you know the Santos. The reason being is because I feel like it was the it watch. You know, when you think of, you know, I don't want to say the next best thing to Rolex, but like obviously Rolex isn't readily available. You know, you find people kind of going to that next option. And I think Cartier hit it on the nail, always having these timepieces available.
Sure.
You know, we remember when the blue dial in the steel was high demand.
Yeah.
And it almost was treated as like a piece that like you had to wait for. Cartier answered the call and now they are readily available.
Yep.
And they have met their demand. So, you know, anybody that does own a Cartier Santos, so looking for, you know,
I know somebody that bought 3 in a week.
it's like
Legit.
you
3 different Santos in a week.
you get what you pay for
Yeah.
when it comes to Santos. Very prestige, the history, the brand name,
You get everything. You get history. You get quality. You get beauty. I mean, it's a beautiful
more
watch.
accessories, you get another strap.
I like the one you
Yeah,
have
you-
a lot.
Sorry.
I like the one you have a lot.
The Dumont.
The Dumont.
with the
Yeah,
rose
no,
gold
I
bezel.
fell in love with that watch this year. That watch really made me like really appreciate Cartier in ways that I don't think I did prior to. And then, you know, Cartier is an interesting brand because for so long, I think so much of the public, if you weren't a watch collector, you just looked at them for jewelry, and then that was it. And what's been really, really cool to see is them like not only getting the respect that they deserve for their contributions to horology, but then like them doubling down with like some of the pieces that they've released this year. We think about the Mysterious watch, like that was
We
crazy.
need to see one of those in person.
Yeah.
Oh, you seen one?
I know we need to.
Yeah, I would love to see that watch in
We need
person.
to see who owns that.
You know, even like some of the more ornate stuff that they did, the chinois, which I thought was really cool.
Really cool.
And then we had the cushion pieces that I've still yet to
Yeah, you
see
can, like,
in person.
squeeze 'em.
Yeah. But they released those at Watches and Wonders, and that was amazing.
And those enamel crashes with the tiger stripes.
Yeah, that
Those
was
bang.
crazy. That was
Yes.
crazy.
Yeah.
Ricardo says we can't forget the Tank Solar Beat. On
Tank
the
Solar
topic
Beat
of
was
Cartier.
crazy
Yeah.
and still almost impossible to get.
Facts.
Impossible to get.
He
It's a-
says
3,000
Seiko 5 Sports GMT is a great value.
Facts.
True. Lord of the Meals, excited we're talking about Santos. Drew up a bunch of deuces. Wrist and Co. Shout out to John. He says, open the door.
Oh, okay.
Trying to sneak in here.
No, that was a good one. This one is interesting. most beautiful watch of the year.
5711.
5711.
No, I'm lying.
Okay, I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was like, really?
5271p with rubies, hands down.
5271p with rubies?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not mad at you.
Done.
Okay.
Nothing's topping that.
I
That
might
is the
have
most
one.
beautiful watch this year.
I might have one.
No, you gonna pick an AP?
No, it's going to be a Patek, actually. It's going to be
Mm.
one that I think a lot of people forgot about because it was a piece unique.
Piece unique.
It was a piece unique. 5270T 001. Emerald dial. That thing was fire.
Yeah, it's nice. The rubies are nicer.
Beautiful.
Rubies are nicer.
No, this thing was crazy. It reminded me of the Wizard of Oz. Just makes me think about the Emerald City. That watch is gorgeous.
Oh my god.
I thought it was the prettiest watch I've seen all year.
Mm.
I couldn't get it out of my head. I saw that and I was
Really?
like, I thought about it. I mean, I've never afforded this watch. You talking about, I mean,
You
this
never
thing.
know.
Listen,
The day's gonna come. They just gonna make you one.
but yeah, well, that would be nice. But listen, I'm not there yet. And this watch already, I think it landed. So the guy paid $500,000 or a little bit more. By the time he's ready to let it go, it's probably a couple million. So
You have that. That's fine.
thanks, Rashawn. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with Van Cleef.
I know which one you're talking about
and
too.
the
Yeah, I'm not mad.
Florals.
Yeah, that was fire.
Yes. I have to say, even for what Van Cleef has done this year, most of the timepieces that they've done, we shared a couple in our chat, like that one where like they're meeting on the bridge. I think that was Van Cleef, yeah?
I think that might have been Harry Winston.
Was that Harry Winston?
I think it was. You sent that recently.
I sent it
that a
recently.
couple weeks ago.
Maybe I'm getting the timepieces mixed up, but I know for sure that Floralis, like, absolutely stunning. It won a Grand Prix award. When we think of just brands that make jewelry or are known for jewelry, even mentioning Harry Winston, we're finding jewelry brands making really cool watches and taking the idea of jewelry and design and putting them into horology and hot horology.
I wouldn't be mad at that piece for also being a contender for one of the best complicated watches of the year.
No, yeah, that's crazy.
Oh,
I mean,
for sure.
what they did with that piece was insane.
It's nuts.
Yeah. No, they really,
How about the Hermes world time?
that was
Where
crazy.
the dial rotates.
Yeah,
that was wild.
That's another. I mean, they took the world. That complication has been around, like feels like forever,
Yeah.
and flipped it, like literally flipped it on his head.
Yeah, no, it was nice. That was really
Instead
good.
of rotating the bezel.
And it
the
makes for
dial
interesting
moves.
conversation
Yeah.
too, because it's like now we're entering the space where like I think for brands that typically make either clothing or leather goods have stepped back into horology at like full force.
Yeah.
Right. When you think of like what Hermes did, LVMH releasing that chronograph. And then they had that other piece. I remember you went to try that on. There was
at Louis Vuitton?
Yeah. What watch was that again?
That was like this crazy. It was like mostly like sapphire, but it was like a flying tourbillon.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
There was no main plate. It looked like everything was floating.
It was all open work. Yeah,
all
it
open
was
work.
crazy.
Like you literally could see straight through it.
It kind of looked like an mb&f.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
bit. It was very surprising for Louis Vuitton.
How much was it?
Oof.
Couple $100,000.
Definitely a couple $100,000. Some words in like maybe like 200.
Yeah, that's crazy.
200.
Ricardo says a cream lacquer Santos Dumont will break up a ton of relationships. That's a good watch too.
It is.
Zach
Yeah.
got one. Jealous.
He did. Yeah, I call it the buttercream.
Yeah.
That's my nickname for
I want to get that all black one.
it. The black one is
The
fire.
all black lacquer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it in person. It's nice.
Yeah.
Not the black, the other lacquer.
Oh yeah, we
That-
seen
that
the
cream one,
buttercream John.
Yeah.
So we got two more. We got two more categories left,
Yes.
and then we'll jump into a Q&A. I thought this one would be interesting. Most undervalued watch of the year. So you could kind of think of this as like the underdog, right? Something that maybe most people kind of glanced over, but you thought was special.
I like to kick this one off.
All right, go ahead.
Funny enough, because you guys are both fans of this brand,
Okay.
and I'm gonna go with the Omega Aquaterra.
Okay. Sure.
In the 41 millimeter, you get a lot in that watch.
Mm-hmm.
The coaxial movement, You know, you get kind of like this dual time kind of situation. Well, I mean, like, you know, you can serve it as like a jump hour, and it could, you know, you could temporarily check another time zone based on wherever you're traveling. You know, that watch is entry level at just about $5.5.
Okay.
Which competes with, like, you know, the Rolex OP. You got a bunch of colors. You got different options.
Have we ever even seen that watch in the store yet?
Yeah, that was. I'm dying to see it.
Yeah, like,
I've never even seen
I
it.
feel like
they haven't delivered
I feel
yet.
like they announced it like a year ago.
People have gotten them though, but I think it was like just initially everything was ran straight through Omega boutiques.
Yeah.
Because I've not seen one in person, but I've seen people wearing them on Instagram.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't
Oh
seen
no,
them.
I've seen a couple.
But like
I want to see that red one, the orange.
That's what I'm saying. It's like those colors are what people are excited about, and you put it against, like, you know, its competitor Rolex.
For
like,
sure.
I mean, time only, and the watch is $6 grand.
That's the answer to the OP.
Sure.
When those get to boutiques, it's gonna be like, oh, well, you can't have an OP, and they got rid of the colors people wanted.
Yeah.
Here they are.
Yeah.
And you have a precious metal option.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did do one in gold, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is that? But that's only one dial option, right? It's not a bunch of different colors.
It's only $1 option. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just that white.
What about you?
Tudor Ranger.
Tudor Ranger. It's a good choice. I thought about that one.
Yeah, people. I mean, myself
$3
included,
grand.
knocked it not for the price, because of the size, because it was a
39.
Yeah,
Yeah.
39 instead of 36 or whatever. But it definitely got overlooked.
I still want that watch.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing. When people put it on, they're like, "Oh, it's good.
Really
and
good price
yeah,
point.
no faux rivets on the
Nope.
bracelet. Just like a really
It's a
clean
good bracelet. Again, clean dial.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of the vintage Rangers and for whatever reason think those are too small, here you go.
This one is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. That's
I
a
like
good-
and I like the NATO it came with. They're like green, red, brown.
yeah, the
It's
NATO
nice.
is actually really cool
It's
too.
really nice.
Yeah. So for me, this one, I chose King Seiko.
Yeah. The
King's-
GMT.
No. They released a King Seiko this year. And they did colors.
Yeah, the bracelets.
The SPB, they did like a 281, 287, so on and so forth. And I think it was released earlier this year, and our friend Derek Mon actually sold one to my friend Eddie,
Yeah.
who watches the podcast. Eddie picked up the plum dial, but this watch
Have you seen it
was.
in person?
I haven't seen it in person yet, but he sent me photos of it, and it's crazy. $1,700, right? You get kind of like an elevated Seiko.
Mhm.
It's not, it's not. I don't. It's hard to say like a brand, but it's because they're all Seiko.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for most people right now, the conversation has always been like either Grand Seiko or just like Seiko.
So you think this bridges a gap?
I think it really does. And when I look at like even my friend who purchased it, who is just getting into watches, and maybe him committing to spending what he might have to spend to getting a Grand Seiko that he would like, and then wanting something maybe a little more elevated than the Seikos he's used to. King Seiko is like,
It's a good middle ground.
yeah, that release that they did earlier this year found itself in like a really nice spot. And then the fact that they actually like gave people options with like these really beautiful, like different color, like champagne-y kind of
Yeah.
dials
Mhm.
was like really good. And there was like a really, really cool one. They did a purple dial. That was sick.
Yeah, purple's nice.
The purple was
don't
fire.
brands don't experiment with purple enough.
That was fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also nice to be like, oh, is that a Seiko? Nah, it's a King Seiko.
And they did like kind
Yeah.
of like a brick bracelet.
Yeah.
That was really, really cool too.
Yeah.
But I thought the watch was a heater. Yeah, definitely like an underdog. Like it flashed, hit the scene, and then it just quietly went away. No one talked
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
it. Next and last, perhaps the most controversial, maybe we'll fight the most of it. We might even agree.
Yeah.
Watch of the year. Who wants to take this one up first?
Rashawn.
Watch of the year. Who gets watch of the year
Well,
for 2022?
Rolex didn't release another colored OP that would make people go crazy, so I can't say that.
Can't say the turquoise.
No, can't say turquoise. But you know what? I'm actually gonna go with Grand Seiko again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Constant
Kodo?
Force Tourbillon.
The Kodo.
The Kodo.
Why?
Grand Prix winner. I think Grand Seiko jumped in their bag with this one. They're mainly known for their dress watches,
Yep.
but they made like this extremely complicated dress watch. Open work, which is something that they're not, they don't really offer. Kind of put this contemporary feel to it. And I also have to say, if I can say this is like, we know that Japanese craftsmanship period is always stuck to tradition.
Sure.
This went against the tradition, and I have to know who talked to any of these
I'm
watchmakers
starting beef in the comments right now.
to actually, say we're gonna do a skeletonized tourbillon, because that is not what Grand Seiko does.
No.
So for them to actually, for this to pass the test, I have to say Watch of the Year.
Okay, Watch of the Year goes to Kodo. Respect. I thought when that watch was released, we all went crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was unexpected for them. I thought that it definitely was. I always view that watch as like very like steampunk. It kind of also reminds me of like the movies Alien.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what it looks like. H.R. Geiger
It
designed
looks like Geiger's artwork.
Yes.
But just in a really, really impressive piece. And I love that Grand Seiko used that opportunity to really show their muscle in terms of what they could do with watchmaking. Already very well respected in the watch community, but then to sort of, put everything on the table and lay it down with that piece and just like show you guys like, hey, look, we really do this.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really big statement for
Ricardo
them.
got some competition for you.
What does he got?
He said 222 versus Kodo.
I love the 222. And I would personally pick the 222 over the Kodo if I had to pay for it out of pocket.
You're bugging. Well, yeah, because
Kodo's 350 grand. So you got me on price point. What do you got for Watch of the Year?
5373p.
Okay. I'm not mad at that.
Lefty, split second.
It was a fire
pusher,
release.
Platinum. It has red in it.
Fire release.
There were people who have no idea about this caliber of watch.
Sure.
Right? And then, I don't mean that in an offensive way, but people who've never even I want to Patek Mono Pusher Chrono, or I want some crazy complicated watch, who were trying to have active conversation with me about that watch just because aesthetically it's so beautiful to look at.
I'm not mad at you.
And
that was definitely
that's the one.
Yeah, in terms of like outside of the 5270T, that piece I thought was like that was the one this year for Patek.
It's nice.
My choice is different.
Is it an inexpensive watch?
For Watch of the Year, I felt I had to. My selection was more. I felt obligated.
Really?
I did. I chose Moonswatch.
That's interesting.
I had to. I mean, the idea that a bioceramic swatch
For $200.
for $200 could get people to act the way that they did when this thing was released I would have never guessed that. I mean, even when we were thinking about going to get it,
we were planning that shit out.
we were planning it out. But
legitimate
you
mission.
remember when news first broke about this, we loved it. We were like, okay, we're gonna go get one. We had no idea we'd be lining up. It wasn't until a couple of days before when we're calling around and we get news that everyone at Swatch, like their phone lines are getting bombarded. And then we're like, yo, this is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And then we get there and there's lines around the block
Yeah.
at all these Swatch locations. It's insane.
Bro, we were outside at 3 a.m. trying to get this.
Yeah, I know. And we didn't get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
we
the
were
hunt
quote, unquote,
didn't stop.
early.
I've never lined up for anything in my life.
Yeah.
Never.
Well, the funniest thing is, shout out to Ram, because I was talking to Ram maybe like a day or two ago or a few days ago. And he was telling me that his brother's in Nevada and they're still lining up for Moonswatches.
That's crazy. Yeah, well,
There was a bunch
again,
of people at Swatch in Grand
right
Central.
before Christmas.
Yeah, Grand Central.
Yeah.
Trying to get
Right
'em.
before Christmas, they unloaded some more boxes on all their Swatch locations. Well, selected Swatch locations. And people went crazy again, lining up to try to get a Moonswatch for Christmas.
I
Were
tried
they able to get them?
Hell no.
Some people.
I walked in there like 5 times. They ain't something.
Some people.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get a Venus for my mom, and it just won't happen.
It's crazy.
No way.
Yeah. Now, for those we actually helped some people get Moonswatches this year.
Yeah.
Facts. Before we got them.
We figured out the allocation process. So being that
Whistleblower.
I got the one I want, I feel like we could kind of let people in on the game right now.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah,
So what we discovered, because I don't know if we ever shared this part of the story.
no, we did off camera. Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, we kind of shared like what happened when we got the Moonswatch, but we never actually told people how we did it. What we discovered was that it seems that apparently Swatch Group gave all the power to the salespeople
Yes.
in Swatch stores to determine who they wanted to sell Moonswatches to.
Yeah.
And so the story on how I got mine, and then and you were with me.
Yep.
Yeah. Was so my wife discovered that people were lining up, and she goes to inquire about getting a watch. The girl comes out of the store and she's like, "We don't have any watches. They're sold out. We don't know when we're getting any."
Your wife says, "quote unquote," we discovered question mark.
Yeah, it's a package deal. And the girl comes out after opening the store. She says, "We don't have anyone," and everyone disperses. But she goes to my wife and she says, "Which one do you want?" And my wife tells her, she's like, "Oh, I want Jupiter." So she's like, "Come back at 12." So my wife goes to work. She comes back. Girl asks her again. She says, "Which one do you want?" She comes out with the watch in the bag and sells it to her. So what was interesting about this whole process is that the salespeople were choosing to sell it to people who they, for all intents and purposes, seems that were kind to the salespeople. If you were nice to them, you rolling your eyes. When you went to Times Square, it's a zoo out there.
You was wilding. In the beginning, you were wilding.
But it seemed to me that if you were nice to the salesperson, they would go ahead and they would sell you one under the table. But they had a specific rule at this time. They could only sell 5 watches a day, and they couldn't sell them until like after 12.
Yeah.
It was like a weird thing. But this is what the salespeople were telling us. You still? I'm sorry, man. We're gonna get you one.
Yeah, we're gonna get you one. Which one you want? You want Pluto? We're gonna get you Pluto.
I know your experience was a little different, but you did muscle your way into getting one.
I did muscle.
Okay.
Rashawn took the opposite approach.
I was actually the opposite of nice.
Perry and I were together. He was nice about it, and then he told the woman who helped us, like, "Oh, like this is my friend. He's with me."
So yeah, he walked up behind me, and so it's just me and her in the store.
And I bought a flip flag.
And because I pretended when everyone was there lined up, I pretended to want the Q, the Swatch Q.
Swatch Q.
So she goes to give me the Q. Everyone disperses. She comes back. She's like, "Here you guys." I don't want that. I want a Moonswatch. And she's like, "Which one do you want?" I was like, "I want Mars." She's like, "Okay, just wait 1 second." She brings out in the bag. Then he walks up in the shop behind me, and it's just me and him in the store now. And I say, "You see that guy over there?" She's like, "Yeah." So he's with me. Can you get one too?
Yo, so I go to the register and I come out with a NASA flip flag that I bought, that I was gonna buy my nephew. So I put that on the counter first, and then she's like, "Mars?" And I was like, "Yes." And she just brings it out in the bag.
Which, for those of you who are still out there trying to get a Moonswatch, or other watches. The valuable lesson here is be kind.
Nice. Be kind. Yeah.
You're probably, what's the saying? You catch more bees with honey.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think we should open it up now to Q&A.
Yes.
So we got some people in the video. If you got any questions, we got a couple more minutes here. Shoot, and
Ricardo,
we'll be happy to answer any questions.
Ricardo and Aaron's in here.
Shout out to Aaron.
Aaron definitely got some questions. When you said Moonswatch for Watch of the Year, Watch Convexity, shout out.
Oh, I heard, yeah. He was like,
said,
no.
He's tight. He's just mad because he
didn't get one. That's what it is.
He's mad because he
didn't get one.
Happy New Year to
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
So right now we're doing Q&A. If anyone has any questions, we got about 5 more minutes before we wrap. What was I'm curious what we have in store for us at Watches and Wonders this year.
Titanium Explorer.
I'm hoping so.
Oh, Aaron's got a question.
What do you say?
Oh yeah, what's up?
If you can only keep 2 watches out of your current collection for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Out of the
Why don't you
current
start?
collection?
Out of your start. Why don't you
Yeah,
kick it
Mr.
off?
50 watches.
Yeah, you got a lot of watches.
I got a lot of watches. But you know, for sure, I'm definitely gonna say my Cellini.
Okay.
I'm gonna say my Cellini because I think it's very sentimental to me. You know, we spoke about it as like, you know, if you were to have an heirloom piece, if you were to give, you know, something to what comes after you, you know, if I had a son and he was to get married, this would be the watch that I would love for him to wear. And you know, something like that, I'd love to pass, you know, to a relative or my children.
Sure.
When I have some. But the second piece, that's kind of tough. Current collection. Oof.
The Nike watch.
You know what? I'm gonna say
Yeah, it's probably a G-Shock.
it could be a G-Shock, but I'm gonna go with the FXD.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the FXD.
FXD.
And I'm gonna go with the FXD because I had a conversation with a guy earlier today, which was very ironic. And we were talking about the Marine Nationale and just like, you know, the significance and the history and, you know, how clean it is. That blue, no date, like it's really cool,
Yeah.
you know? And it has that touch of vintage and modern.
Is yours a 21 or a 22?
Mine's a 22, unfortunately.
Oh, unfortunately, I was just curious. I don't know.
I know. Everybody wants a 21.
Which you can
They
probably
sell
get
it for
right
like
now
7
on
bands, though.
getbezel.com.
You could probably go and get bezel.
Get one on Get
For
Bezel.
those who do
Is
want to
our code
know,
still
who still
working?
got some Christmas money, yep, the code still works. If you still got some Christmas money and you want to spend it, you're looking for a new watch, you can use the discount code RiskCheckPod at
250 off.
getbezel.com. You get $250 off your first watch purchase.
Collectors Corner NY says, Perry, what did you wear most in 2022?
I was actually thinking about that because I saw all these posts going up where people were saying they were all like posting the watches that they wore most all year. And I think I'm pretty sure it was my Speedmaster.
Yeah.
If
I had to say what
it was
watch
my
you wore most,
Speedmaster
it's probably
because if I'm ever in I have a routine in the morning and like the last thing I put on is my watch. But if I either don't want to think about what watch to put on or I'm just like grabbing and going, I typically always reach for the Speedmaster.
Yeah.
And then I have it now on the Faulkner JB Champion bracelet. And that bracelet with the Speedmaster case, like just together, the way like aesthetically, it makes me want to wear it all the time. It's just a very easy watch to wear. And it just looks cool. Like I get compliments on it all the time with the bracelet.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, what is that?
Yeah.
And then I get to tell them about like the Dick Gordon picture and, you know, so kind of, it's one of those things where it gives back. So I really enjoy wearing it. Anytime you can strike up a conversation with someone who has like an appreciation about either Omega, Speedmasters, or vintage watches, I'm all over it. I'm game.
I have to say too, when you acquired that Speedmaster too, it was really before we started diving into buying like expensive watches or at least heavy hitting price points. And when you got that, I was like, oh man, this guy's doing something.
No, that was I wore that a lot. That was good.
Trevor Wynn says, "Mission never repeat a watch. What's on deck?
What's on deck for 2023? What's your next? What's your
You gotta
next?
share some
Your next
secrets.
purchase?
Ooh, next purchase. That's tough.
You gotta let some cats out the bag.
I'm gonna tell you this. The year, you know, it's 1/1/23. I'm gonna say by 12/31/23, I want a precious metal Daytona.
Okay. All right.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. Put that in the ether. I respect it.
I'm putting it out there. I want a precious
So
metal
white
Daytona.
gold, yellow gold, red
He
gold.
wants yellow.
I think I want yellow
He
gold.
wants yellow gold.
Yellow gold.
Yellow gold Daytona.
Yellow gold Daytona. If not, maybe I'd be okay with rose gold. Be okay with rose gold.
You
Well,
get a white gold
there's
blue
your
down.
answer, Trevor.
I'm going for the gusto.
Yeah, maybe rose gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe rose gold.
Maybe a
Okay.
gold Daytona. Definitely a gold Daytona. Just don't know which
Lord of
one
the
yet.
Mill says, "Where is John?
John's
John
downstairs.
exactly. John John's
He's
downstairs.
in the basement.
John just got back from vacation.
He was
I
in
think
Chicago.
He was in
He's in
Chicago,
Chicago.
right? We're getting dinner with him this week. So John
Aaron says
just around.
over the rose gold GMT. Remember you said you wanted that too.
Well, no. So what I was
You said
thinking in
that's
my-
like your it. Rolex.
No, what that's the thing. So in my head, I was like, it would either be a Batman or a rose gold GMT between those two. So I was like GMT or Daytona, but I'm like, why not go all out?
Yeah, okay.
I'm going for the Daytona.
Oh man. Well, Trevor likes that. He's got
Yeah,
the
he's hype on that.
he's clapping. Ricardo says, when's the next link up? Coming soon. We're working on something, so I don't want to let the cat out of the bag.
No,
but
not that one.
we got a couple of things lined up for 2023. We will be doing another live audience episode. Maybe that one will actually be live as well. I don't know. But we have a couple of watch meets coming up, and Ricardo knows well that we have friends who do as well. Jason from Complecto is working on something really, really special. A couple of special things this year that I'm excited to attend. In addition to a new friend of ours, Albert Combs, who has his watch group in DC, which I had the pleasure of attending their second anniversary meetup last month, just before Christmas, hosted by the Tiny Jewel Box. That was awesome. And they're also coming to NYC,
Yeah.
I think in February, to do something, perhaps in partnership with Complecto. So we have something, some meetups to look forward to.
Ramil says go to Cali. Aaron says WCP trip to Switzerland. And to that, I say if you'd like to fund it, we will go.
Hey,
Then
live show from Geneva. If we
Live-
get to Geneva, we will definitely do a live show.
last
Oh,
2
for
days
sure.
of Watches and Wonders will be open to the public.
That's true. They are changing that this year.
The
So they're
WCP
opening it up
shop
to the
going
public.
live this year.
Yes. I think you can expect merch in
Yes.
2023.
Group trip to Geneva would definitely be nuts.
That
Yes.
We should have a link.
would. That
up
would
in
be a
Geneva.
whole episode.
We should have everybody just pull up to Geneva.
That's the film.
That could
I'm
really
down.
be a movie.
We could do it.
WCP movie.
I'm with it. That'll go on the Patreon.
That'll be a tier sponsorship.
No,
tier.
group trip to Geneva is good. Shop going live. Let's see what else we got here. Yes, Rom. This will be posted. So this episode we are shooting live, but this will also go up this week
John
on all the streaming platforms.
John texts me and he goes, "Open the door, blow me a kiss on camera."
Oh no. I think that just about does it, guys.
This is really fun.
This was fun. I'm glad we did this again. We'll do this every year.
See you next year.
See you next year.
January.
But we
1st,
got more
2023.
content coming. This is turning out to be our longest season. Typically our seasons are about 7 episodes. I think right now we are well past 10 for this season. So we're extending this one, and then we'll see how long this goes, and small break and then come back. But you got at least, I think,
There's at least
6-7 more episodes
Yeah.
to look forward to over
Yes.
the next 7 weeks.
Yes.
So, and if you haven't visited the website, I encourage you to visit the website and sign up for our mailing list. It's riskcheckpodcast.com. Right, producer?
Can we confirm that?
That is. So you can sign up for the mailing list. That'll get you in tune with us and all of the events we have coming. We'll send out the information that way. But as always, reach out to us on DM. You can DM us through the Risk Check Podcast IG page or our personal IG accounts. We try to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
2022, I think for us was all about community, and the community really showed up and showed out. So we are accessible, and we love to talk to all you guys about just what you're thinking about in terms of watches, answering any questions, watch purchases, or just watch talk. Send us links to things that you would like us to talk about or like us to cover, and so on and so forth. It's riskcheckpod.com.
Yes.
So visit us at riskcheckpod.com. Want to give a shout out to Get Bezel. I saw my man Cat Time entered the group. Can you pass me that book? So Brendan entered the chat. Brendan, we got your book here. So we're reading it. We're doing our homework because we want you on the show.
Yes.
So thank you for hopping into the chat. But we're definitely going to. I'm looking forward to having him on the show. He's a really great guy.
Yes.
Am I forgetting anything?
Don't think so. TikTok for the children.
TikTok for the children, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts,
Yeah.
Overcast.
Maybe in 24 we're in the metaverse.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe.
I think the metaverse is done for.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But this has been fun.
Blame
Thank
the
you
borders.
guys. Trevor says content is excellent. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Shout out to Carlos. Carlos is coming up. He's been on the show. So we have that to look forward to.
That's gonna be a great episode.
That's a really good episode. And shout out to you guys for making this special. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Peace.
Peace.